Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome into your reading for the second half of August, where we'll be taking a look at jobs and careers, love and relationships, and then life path and mission. And before we jump into those pieces of it, we'll go ahead and take a look at just kind of a little bit of a general energy read before diving into the specifics. So let's see what energy God, the universe, the divine is trying to show us for our Sagittarius. All right. The energy you're sitting in right now is Four of Shells, Hermit, and Ace of Crystals. And then the energy coming up from the bottom, which is either what you don't see or kind of like the next level of energy, is Seven of Shells, Four of Feathers in reverse, and Temperance in reverse. So your Four of Shells, that's your Four of Cups energy. So there is kind of like some contemplation going on. And with the Hermit, that is that kind of self-imposed thinking and quiet reflection, a little bit of that antisocial type of feeling to it. And then Ace of Crystals, that's your Ace of Pentacles. So that's prosperity and new start. So you're reflective and moving yourself into a new direction. The next level of energy that you're maybe not seeing coming in is your Seven of Cups. That's some kind of indecisiveness and like making choices. Four of Swords in reverse is like, so you are making choices and it's kind of leading you to this point of exhaustion or breakdown to some extent, and it's putting you in this imbalance, like recklessness, like you're avoiding making decisions. So you've been thinking about what you want to do and a little bit of that new start that you want to be able to make, but then it's leaving you to this reflection, choices, and not really sure what to do. So before we jump into the things specific to you that are going on, we do have some things that are happening in the in the second half of the month. The first of which is we have a new moon in Leo on the 16th. And so that's about kind of some new creative projects. Maybe you're going to break out of your usual mold and do something a little bit different. And then we have Mercury going retrograde on the 23rd. And so that's kind of all about some irritability and miscommunications. A lot of times there's technology issues and kind of having this lack of focus, but that pretty quickly after that is going to get replaced when Mars goes in or enters into Libra on the 27th. You'll have more energy to deal with people. So usually leading up to Mercury in retrograde for a day or so beforehand, you might be noticing that heavy energy. And then certainly when it happens and for the next few days, there's that heavy energy, but it does look like it moves out, or it lightens a little bit after that. And then we do have our full moon in Pisces on August 30th and 31st. So that's a blue moon and it's a supermoon. So that is actually the second of the supermoons in August. And usually full moons are about closing out cycles, getting rid of what is no longer serving you. And this is looks like it's a major ending that's coming up. So we'll see what exactly that means for you. Let's dive in first on the work and career standpoint. So your recent past, you have your Eight of Cups in reverse. You're currently sitting at Strength in reverse with your likely outcome or next level of energy as your Eight of Pentacles. So you've been sitting in this energy here of feeling stuck, and you're kind of avoiding change, and you haven't really known what to do. And so then that's been pushing you into this like weak, kind of uncontrolled emotion, like this vulnerability state. But it looks like that will be turning around into your Eight of Pentacles, which that's about your kind of your expertise and your skills. The interesting thing here for you is these are all eights. So, you have your Eight of Cups. The Strength card is 8 in the major arcana, and then you have your Eight of Pentacles here. And the eights are about obstacles. And so it does look like from a work standpoint, maybe some of the obstacle was related to not really feeling like you had what you needed to be able to get to the next stage job wise. And that was kind of pushing you into this kind of weak or fearful type of state. But then the next level that's coming out for you, if it's really about your talent and your expertise, that's kind of turning around. One of the things as well is, with the 8 part here, you have the infinity sign above her head. So we were coming out of the Lionsgate portal on 8/8. So if you've been doing your manifesting and working on that, and there's always time to manifest, but it looks like some of that knowledge and expertise is really going to start showing for you, and you will see strides forward from a career standpoint as you're able to showcase your expertise and your skills a little bit more. So it is the obstacles, though, of overcoming some of this laziness or some of this, vulnerability. Then when I say vulnerability, it's like if you aren't able to show that strength and you show that weakness, that's a vulnerability, but it's not that you're doing that intentionally because you want to be open with other people. It's more like this is one of those chinks in the armor that you need to deal with. So it's about putting in more energy, more effort, and really focusing on how do you better yourself in the workplace. All right, let's take a look at love and relationships and see what's wanting to come through for you on that front. In your recent past, you have your Knight of Pentacles in reverse, currently sitting in the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, with your next level of energy being Queen of Wands in reverse. So with all of them being in reverse, there's maybe a feeling of things have just been kind of feeling a little bit off. So this is also a kind of irresponsible or lazy type of mentality. But you are looking at overcoming some of these problems. So with this, if you've been kind of dull and irresponsible, if you're in a relationship, it could be that you just haven't really been putting in the effort. You've just kind of been kicking back and, I'll just do whatever. But you're moving yourself more into a position of like moving on and forgiveness. Maybe you feel like somebody has wronged you, and so you just kind of feel lazy, like, hey, I tried really hard and something bad still happened, so why bother to even try? But you are overcoming that and wanting to move forwards and forgive. And then the next level of energy coming in for you, it's a little bit of like a selfish energy. So don't let the pendulum swing back too far in the other direction. So if somebody has wronged you and you feel like, oh, I needed to forgive them, and you feel like you're moving on, don't let forgiveness look like, okay, well, now you owe me. Make sure that it's bringing you back to a balanced state and that it's not just tipping the tables to have it be imbalanced in your favor. I remember years ago, somebody got me a shirt, just like a funny one, and it said, I demand justice, or if there must be injustice, let it be in my favor. So kind of that sort of thing. Like, don't let yourself fall into that sort of a trap of seeing justice or fairness be, well, now all the cards get stacked in my favor. All right. Let's take a look at life path and mission. In the recent past, we have our 7 of Swords in reverse, currently sitting in the Tower energy, with the next level of energy being the Hanged Man. So with the energy that you're coming out of is kind of this remorseful energy. So, as it pertains to your life path and your mission, this is kind of about your conscience. And so maybe you realize that you haven't really been on your path, or you've been ignoring your path, like you know what you're supposed to do, but you don't really want to do it. And so that's pulling into this tower moment where you're having this major sense of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, what is my life path? What is my mission? And kind of the next level that's coming through, though, is stagnation and delays and stalling. So it's like, you know, the tower's majorly disrupting, but then now you just don't know what to do with it. So let's pull a few more cards in terms of this life path and see if there's anything else that wants to come through about, you know, maybe either, this was a jumper, Knight of Cups. Pull a couple more. Knight of Cups and Five of Wands. So your Knight of Cups energy is that negotiation and diplomacy, but then your Five of Wands is like a conflict and anger and rivalry. So, you know, you kind of have both of them coming in, which comes across as there's going to be some sort of, you know, as you're trying to figure out what your path is, there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some sort of rivalry, and, you know, maybe part of your calling is to be that Knight of Cups, to be that diplomatic negotiator in there. So let's take a look at Gaia and see what messages are coming through on the Gaia cards for you. Tree of Life, fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. So that's kind of this sense. It's a little bit of that with the destiny and magical blessings, a little bit of that Wheel of Fortune. You know, this is the path for you to be on. And there is some creativity there. And let's take a look at your Sacred Creator, in flow with money. So this energy up here, where it looks like you've been trying to manifest with that 8-8 portal, that Lionsgate portal, that's also that reminder too, that if you weren't intentionally manifesting, that's actually, it's happening based on what are you spending your time thinking about? What are you putting out into the universe that you want? So be mindful of the story that you're telling yourself, and how does that translate into what happens in your future. And your flower card, connect with your soul community. So that's something, especially if you're in a position where you feel like you've kind of lost your way a little bit and you don't know what direction to go in terms of life path and mission. Really try to find your soul tribe, kind of call them in, and that will help give you some of that sense of direction. When you're at the same vibrational level as others, it helps give you that energy and give you that motivation. But it looks like, you know, in the midst of some of these like tower moments, and in the midst of that stagnation, don't really know what to do, that some rivalries or conflicts are going to come up, and the way that you navigate through that and negotiate and help bring harmony might give you some insight into what your calling is, whether it's, you know, from a negotiation standpoint, or hey, I'm really good at figuring out solutions to this and figuring out how to transform this rivalry and, you know, get a better outcome. And maybe that is part of your calling, is whatever you're doing here, that's something, take a note of it, and that might be what it is kind of for your next stage of life, or, you know, the next part of the path. So I hope this message has been helpful for you today, and if this is information that you think somebody else could benefit from, I would encourage you to share this with them as well. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. There will be some other videos coming out shortly on the channel, a new twin flame reading. There's also some recent Is This Your Person readings, so feel free to check those out. And if you want to get alerted as to when the next sets of videos are going to be posted, hit that subscribe and notification bell for that. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time, bye-bye.